All right, let's jump right into this. Today we're unpacking a profound and honestly kind of mind-bending paradox from ancient Indian philosophy. We're looking at the Kena Upanishad to explore a concept that literally shakes the very foundation of the human ego. It's all about what it actually means to know something. So get ready to completely rethink what it means to be truly wise.
Okay, think about how we usually view knowledge in our everyday lives. It's usually a pretty rigid binary, right? If someone walks around declaring, "I know everything," well, we instantly label them as arrogant. We assume their ego has totally taken the wheel. But on the flip side, if someone says, "I know absolutely nothing," society tends to write them off as ignorant or uneducated. It's very black and white. But, and here's the kicker, ancient texts completely flip this entire binary on its head.
You see, the ancient sages defined ultimate wisdom in a way that feels almost like a riddle. The Upanishadic truth states that the true knower, like a genuinely enlightened person, feels they know everything, yet at the exact same time knows absolutely nothing. I mean, it sounds completely impossible, doesn't it? How can you possess all the knowledge in the universe, but simultaneously hold on to none of it? It definitely sounds like a contradiction at first glance. But as you'll see, it's actually a beautifully accurate description of true enlightenment. This whole paradox is perfectly captured in the Kena Upanishad, specifically chapter 2, verse 3. It goes like this: Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasa, avijinatam vijinatam vijnatam avijnatam cha. Okay, I know, that might sound a little intimidating if you're not fluent in Sanskrit, but don't worry about the translation just yet. We're going to break this beautiful verse down logically, step by step, to figure out exactly what the ancients were getting at here.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how it maps out the actual steps of understanding. The first part, yasya matam tasya natam, basically means that the person who believes the supreme truth, the infinite universe, cannot be fully grasped by the human intellect, well, that person is the one who truly knows it. It's all about acknowledging our limits. Then we hit the second part, matam yasya na vedasa. This means if someone is sitting there, totally wrapped up in their ego, boldly claiming, "I have completely understood the divine," they are actually living in total ignorance. Claiming undeniable knowledge actually exposes a massive lack of it.
Which brings us to the final line of the verse, and really the ultimate takeaway. Avinyanatam, vijanatam, vijnata vijanatam. Basically, for those who think they are great scholars, the know-it-alls who believe they've mastered absolutely every concept, the ultimate truth remains avinyanatam. It is completely unknown and hidden from them. But for those who are genuinely humble, the ones who don't carry that arrogance of being a supreme knower, to them, the divine becomes vijanata. It reveals itself entirely. It's just a stark, incredible contrast between the blinding nature of arrogance and the illuminating power of humility.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly why this happens. And to do that, we have to look at the hard boundaries of human perception. Think of sasim, the finite. That's us. That's our human mind, our physical senses, our intellect. We have very distinct, hardwired biological limits. Then, opposed to that, we have asim, the infinite, the divine, the ultimate truth, the boundless universe itself. The whole contradiction pops up when we try to mix the two. I mean, how can something with strict limits possibly comprehend something with absolutely no limits?
To make this crystal clear, the ancient texts use this incredibly vivid metaphor. A small earthen pot cannot contain the entire ocean. It's just physically impossible, right? You can dip the clay pot into the water and sure, the pot will be full, but it's never going to hold the whole sea. In the exact same way, our finite minds cannot possibly trap infinite truth within our tiny mental frameworks. When you try to force the entire ocean into a little pot, you're not actually capturing the ocean. You're just tricking yourself into thinking you have.
Just notice the psychological chain reaction that kicks off the second we claim absolute certainty. As soon as you say, "I know," boom, you activate the ego. That bold claim of having the absolute truth acts like a literal brick wall in your mind. It instantly kills any further learning. You stop being curious, you stop asking questions. But when you genuinely face the infinite majesty of the universe and just accept your small place within it, something amazing happens. The I, that stubborn, rigid ego, just completely dissolves. You realize that true greatness, the ultimate reality, just cannot be bound by our limited human words or neat little dictionary definitions.
And this brilliantly illustrates that we aren't just talking about ancient mysticism reserved for philosophers. This translates perfectly into modern logic and science. Think of it as the scientific rule of knowledge. The more we learn, the more we realize just how much is left to figure out.
Every single time a scientist looks through a telescope or peers into a microscope, answering one question usually just spawns 100 brand new ones. The whole foundation of the scientific method relies on the humble assumption that our current understanding is, well, incomplete.
Actually, some of history's greatest analytical minds operated on this exact same principle of intellectual humility. Take the ancient philosopher Socrates, who famously declared that his only true wisdom was knowing that he knew nothing. Or think about Albert Einstein. He viewed the universe as this massive, mysterious puzzle, and he noted that all of our combined scientific knowledge was literally just a drop in an otherwise boundless ocean. These guys were brilliant precisely because they accepted how little they actually knew. It kept their minds perpetually open to the wonders of the unknown.
Let's bring this down to earth and translate this philosophy into a practical roadmap for daily life. Because this isn't just high-level theory, it's a structural guide for personal growth. Step 1. Recognize that ego actively closes your mind to new ideas. The second you think you're the smartest person in the room, you completely lose the ability to grow. Step 2. Understand that adopting real humility is what sparks genuine, childlike curiosity. And finally, step 3, achieving freedom from that intellectual arrogance is the only way to experience true, continuous development. Once you accept you don't know it all, you suddenly have the whole wide world left to learn.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from this explainer? Well, true knowledge is absolutely not about accumulating textbook facts, memorizing data streams, or, winning trivia night. It's about deeply recognizing our human limitations. It's about reaching what we might creatively call ego zero. Because the exact moment your ego melts away and you stop trying to force the universe into your tiny clay pot, you naturally allow the light of supreme truth and genuine understanding to manifest within you.
I want to leave you with a really powerful question to reflect on today. What ego do you need to let go of to make room for true wisdom? Take a quiet moment to really think about that. Where in your life are you claiming absolute certainty when you probably should be practicing curiosity? If you enjoyed this dive into the Kina Upanishad and found this explainer helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, share this with a fellow learner, and subscribe so we can keep exploring these fascinating concepts together. Thanks so much for hanging out, and stay curious.